What? 2 TV editions in a row? Well, of course. Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous.
What else? Give me another one. Give me another phrase.
I have a plan.
No, we got to do it right. Say, I have. Oh God.
A plan.
Yes, indeedy duties. Well, if you haven't figured it out, of course, this is another TV edition of
Get.
Mm-hmm. And on this special edition of the TV edition of Get Real, we're talking about another classic TV show, one of our all-time favorite shows.
This one.
Exactly. It's a little piece of television history known as Perfect Strangers. Now, what sparked this is the fact that over the weekend, Miss Pegnrino, Mr. Krabs, and I actually got to meet the stars.
That's us.
That's us. With the stars of Perfect Strangers, Mark Linn-Baker and Bronson Pinchot.
AKA Balky and Larry.
Exactly. Cousin Larry. That's right. And so, the reason, of course, why we got our picture with them was because we are huge fans of the show. And so it was only right that we get to actually meet them in person.
Yeah.
Protein.
I
need some protein.
So we got to meet them at the Fanboy Expo here in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was just over the weekend, and so I was like, we need to talk about Perfect Strangers because it's one of the best shows ever, and it's one of our all-time favorite shows. And
Pretty
so
damn good show.
It's a great show, and we grew up with it. Miss Pegnrino, I grew up with it. You didn't really grow up with it.
I did not know this existed until I met you.
That's right. Well, what does this show mean to you now?
It's a reminder of just like old school comedy laughter. A good the whole premise of the show is basically friendship, and it's really good friendships no matter how much one drags one down, the other one brings them back up and vice versa. It's a very wholesome yet still hilarious as shit.
It's a positive message.
Yes.
Basically, the show itself is an extremely positive message of friendship, and even two people from different worlds can come together and create an everlasting bond. And what's funny is that actually really did happen between Bronson Pinchot and Mark Linn-Baker. They're still good friends to this day, and even if they don't see each other for a while, they pick right back up from where they left off.
Oh my Lord! There it is. It just took you.
It's just lurking.
Yeah,
it's lurking there.
Let me just examine you for a moment.
Yes.
Is that blanched asparagus on your face?
I did learn that compassion brings love, love brings peace, and peace brings grizzly bear.
Courage leads to compassion. Compassion leads to peace. Peace leads to grizzly bear.
Okay, thanks.
Well, you love the show now.
I do.
I've loved it since I was a kid. It was actually one of the first real TV shows I started watching as a kid. That wasn't like a kid show. Mm-hmm. This and Star Trek: The Next Generation were my two first adult shows that I enjoyed.
Triple X shows?
No.
Why I like to be nude.
But no, this show, it was always so funny. My mom always told me that it was my late uncle's favorite show, her brother, because he liked ridiculous random comedy like that, and
it is quite ridiculous.
It is.
Toilet, please.
Oh, it's right out the door to you.
Well, I never.
Well, in that case, let me suggest a high-fiber diet.
And she would say that he would laugh hysterically at the show. He died a couple of years after I was born, so I don't really know him. I didn't really get to know him and really remember him. But that's something that I always remember, is that he was a big fan of Perfect Strangers, and so I can take that with me. And my mom always said that had he lived on, he would have loved Mystery Science Theater. That would have been one of his favorite shows as well, because of the random humor.
Sting, Debbie Reynolds, and God.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the history of Perfect Strangers.
I know nothing.
Well, I know you don't. Yeah. You're more here for the ride than you are actually going to talk about the show.
Is that what I am here for all the time on these?
Yeah, this is bugging the crap out of me. Hang on.
gonna be continuity issues.
No, all of this is staying in.
Unless you're leaving this in.
All of this is staying in.
Unmitigated disaster.
So the history of Perfect Strangers, of course, it was thought up by the legendary Miller Boyett company, production company, who brought us Happy Days, they brought us Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step. You know, did you know? Fun fact: it was originally going to be Bronson Pinchot as Balky, and Louis Anderson as Cousin Louie. Now,
What?
that would have been interesting. I think it would have been funny in a different aspect, but it would not have been the same show as it became because, listen, God bless Louis Anderson, the late, great Louis Anderson. He was a hilarious comedian, but you can't deny he was a bigger man gentleman, you know? And so you probably we really couldn't have done a lot of the physical comedy that the show ended up producing during that time. And not to mention that the show itself is kind of like a high pace, fast comedy because of those two's energy. Louis Anderson was known for kind of sluggish comedy. You know, he was kind of like, he would talk like this, but like a slower comedy.
So you couldn't even make it to the hospital for my birth, huh? What? Geez, I gotta do everything around here.
Anyway, I don't think it would have worked. It would have worked in a different way, but would it have been as big a hit?
No.
With the two of them?
Probably not.
I don't
think so.
But they ended up hiring Mark Linn-Baker, who, by the way, got his start in one of my favorite movies from 1982, My Favorite Year.
They've asked me to stay with you and help you over some of the rough spots.
Like showing up?
That's one. Another is not passing out.
In which he co-starred with Peter O'Toole and Cameron Mitchell.
Oh.
Will you close the fucking doors?
Gross.
The patron saint of bad movies. But that was a good movie. That was actually... But that was actually a very good movie, that particular one, and it started Mark Linn-Baker's career. Bronson Pinchot's career got a huge boost and went out of nowhere when he played the character of Serge in Beverly Hills Cop.
Only run and tell me Summers that Mr. Ahmed Foley is here to see...
Axel Foley. Axel.
Axel. Foley is here to see her.
You don't know any of this, do you?
You know what I also know Balky from?
What's that?
Sabrina.
He's Sabrina. He's also in the First Wives Club.
He's the gay designer. Yeah.
There's a scene in the movie where he's trying to keep Bette Midler's ex-husband away from the
window.
Look
at this. Look at this over here.
The blue. But who cares about blue?
Oh, yeah. Little drapes.
The window meeting is over. It's time to consider the stairs.
What about that dumb fountain?
Well, I rather like it.
I'd rather look at the window.
That is one of the funniest scenes, and he's in that movie, and it makes me laugh every time.
He sounds like Balky in the movie.
He does. Well, see, it's interesting you say that because that's what Bronson Pinchot ended up being very well known for. That's what really got him the role on Perfect Strangers was his character Serge in Perfect Strangers. Put that on silent. That's what got him the role in Perfect Strangers because of his role in Beverly Hills Cop, because he does like a foreign character in that as well, and he's just really funny. He can take any kind of foreign character and turn him into something.
Hilarity.
Yeah. Well, like with Balky, it's like this naive, cutesy kind of guy who doesn't really, he's just innocent, as innocent as can be.
What this?
It's pink lemonade.
You have pink lemons? Only in America.
Serge was more of like a stuck-up art critic. He's more like an art snob. He talked like that.
I see you look at this space.
Yeah, I was wondering how much something like this went for.
$130,000.
Get the fuck out of here!
No, I cannot. It's serious.
And then in the First Wives Club, he was very much a flamboyant, like a designer type. He knew how to take dialects that he made up and just created characters out of them. And so that's what got him the role. But did you know, more history!
This is so exciting!
That Tom Cruise tried to talk him out of doing Perfect Strangers.
Balky?
The Tom Cruise tried to talk Bronson Pinchot out
Why?
He says that he told him that television kills careers. Yeah, he said that television kills careers, and he had just gotten off of Beverly Hills Cop, and he had gotten some other movie things, and so it was Tom Cruise was warning him, like, you don't want to take this risk. Stop trying to do sitcoms. But thank God that he did.
Thank God.
Because he got to have a legacy from this show. So, I mean, you can't argue with that. But yeah, so that's where they came from. That's where Bronson and Mark came in, and where they came from, and how it all got started for them. Don't you find that interesting?
No.
One thing is for sure about this show. We got to mention this before we get any further. This may be a controversial statement. I don't know how you feel about this.
Okay.
And I'm excluding like variety shows because I think SNL has always had a great theme song. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, epic theme song. Mystery Science has always had a great theme song. But I would say that in terms of like 80s, 90s sitcoms, Perfect Strangers had the best theme song.
Rise and fall.
No, the copyright. I'm next. But yeah, so
I mean, I don't know. Full House was pretty catchy.
it doesn't compare. It's not fun.
What about the Fresh Prince?
I mean, it's fun, but it's not. The Wings of My Dreams get you pumped up every time it comes on. Especially, it got me through some dark times too. Like when I was not doing well in my radio career, when all my other careers kept going down the tube, going right down the dumpster. That song kind of kept me up because I'm like, I'm on the wings of my dreams. Nothing's gonna stop me now.
Nothing's gonna stop me now.
And look where we are. Everything is fine now. So
That's true. I mean, it's very catchy. We sing it all the time.
Why do you hate me?
I don't hate.
Let's get into the show itself because Perfect Strangers was classic for so many reasons. After the 1960s, TV sitcoms kind of took a turn. They turned away from that like constant G-rated, family-oriented type of humor and got delved into more like realistic situations, like shows like All in the Family came on, and even shows that weren't like super political and super like that still took more of an adult range with it, more of an adult theme. Happy Days was kind of different because it took place in the 50s, even though it came out in the 70s, so it kind of still had that wholesome feel to it. But like all other shows during that time were more normal, more that how we would know them today. They deal with regular things. Perfect Strangers kind of took that step back to like wholesome humor again.
I mean, they still did, dealt with real things.
Oh yeah.
Trying to build your career.
Mm-hmm.
To be a good reporter, you've got to know how to use who, what, when, where, and why. The 5 W's of journalism.
What?
That's one.
What's one?
Exactly.
Going through a shitty job, finding a new one.
We have a very strict no fighting policy.
Dealing, obviously they were both. Well, Larry was desperate to get laid.
All the time.
Balky was just kind of along for the ride.
I mean, you've been with women before. You probably had to beat them off with a crook. Am I right? Huh? You're as pure as the driven snow, aren't you?
But there were things like that where it was still more like, more of the modern age. But that show, and I mentioned Happy Days. Mm-hmm. That show came from, again, the Miller Boyett Company, and the Miller Boyett Company was really known for putting out those shows that were very much wholesome, like Full House, like Happy Days, like Family Matters, Step by Step. So it took that more of a wholesome, where it was a show that you looked forward to because you knew it was going to have a positive message and that it wasn't going to be offensive in any way. So and so that was, I think that's one of the best things about it. Don't get me wrong, I am in no way a prude. I enjoy dark humor, dirty humor until the cows come home. But
AKA Family Guy.
Family Guy.
I don't
care what color your belt is. You're a child, and I am stronger than you.
But Perfect Strangers holds a close spot in my heart because it is just kind of one of those escape shows where it's just like, if you want calm humor, this is the show to go to. Clean humor, and it's good. It just was a very wholesome show, and that's one of the reasons why I love it.
I agree.
I hate it here.
Well, what's some of the things that you like about it, Ms. Pegnrino?
I mean, it's definitely a comfort show because, like, for me, a comfort show is any show that I can put on the background and I can just, like, listen to bits and pieces and know exactly what's going on.
Well, that's because we watched the show 100
well,
million
yeah,
times.
but it's a show that you can watch 100. Like, sometimes you can't stick through something that long for it to become a comfort show.
I suppose. Well, of course you can. Don't be ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
Stop it!
I don't know. I just like how two, like, very, very different people are, like, friends through thick and thin.
Mm-hmm.
And even though when you're up, and you're down, they still come around.
Listen, if you're a first-time viewer, she really does engage a lot more than this. She just doesn't know what to say here.
I'm also a little tired.
Wake up!
But you make a good point, Miss Pegnrino, and I think a lot of that is due to the chemistry between Bronson Pinchot and Mark Linn-Baker. Again, if Louis Anderson had that role, I don't know if the chemistry would have been there. I think Bronson Pinchot would have made it work fantastically with anybody.
That's a very good point.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
Very good point.
I think that, I think that...
I just love Balky, man.
Who doesn't love Balky?
He's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
He's great. But Balky just brings it around.
Brings it around. He does.
Bring it around. Bring it on in. Bring it on in.
He's the comic relief to Larry's straight man, and again, that's how I think it worked really well. And but they both have that energy. They both had that way of, that physical comedy between the two of them that they made it work.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think it would have worked the same with Louis Anderson. It would have been a different type of comedy, and I'm not sure if it would have worked the same way. I think maybe it would have. Because again, I think Bronson Pinchot, he's just so good, he could have made it work with anybody.
Probably.
But it was imperative that they get somebody like Mark Linn-Baker in there to play Larry, because it like I said, the chemistry between them was perfect, and it's still perfect. Dare I say perfect? Hey.
That's kind of lame.
And it's still perfect to this day because, I mean, I was watching videos of them just talking with each other and playing around with each other.
I
won't ride that.
Here
Here in Knoxville, and like again, like I said, they pick up right where they leave off, and it's like they've been around each other the whole time,
When you rolling out that dough, just make sure you roll it slow. If you make it go too quick, a big bop can make you sick.
And I think, that's the key to creating, obviously, a perfect television show that features a duo. You have to find those right people, and my God, did they find the right people?
They really found it.
Ooh.
Not to mention, like, Marianne and Jennifer. God, why are name blacked
You
out?
good?
They just also fit the pair.
That's another thing, like this,
Right.
all the co-stars of the show, they really found the right people to do that. Like in the first 2 seasons, they had Ernie Sabella play Mr. Twinkassetti. Of course, Ernie Sabella went on, most famously of our generation, to be the voice of Pumbaa, of Timon and Pumbaa, and the Lion King.
I'm a sensitive soul, though I seem thick-skinned.
And so, he's just great. And then you had Sam Anderson as Mr. Gorpley. You had Belita Marino as Rita. I've combined Belita Marino with Rita Maria.
Uh-oh, he has stroke.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Belita Marino, yes, who played Lydia.
My last name's Marino?
It is.
Oh, we must be related.
It must be so. Anyway, she played Lydia on the show, and of course,
Harriet Winslow is in
Harriet Winslow was on the show, and that was another point I wanted to bring up. Of course, we've mentioned Family Matters a couple times here, that it is one of the Miller Boyett shows, but not only that, it was a spin-off of Perfect Strangers. Perfect Strangers was so perfect that they had to spin off one of their characters because it's just too much. Too many great characters on the show. Too many great shows. We've learned in recent years that Urkel may have not have been the best choice to be on the show. Well, just because he dominated the show. That was supposed to be originally be about Harriet and Carl.
Oh,
and
they kind of went by the wayside.
They did, and their family, but the show's ratings started to dip really fast, and then they had this one-off character who was only supposed to be on for like one episode, Steve Urkel.
And he became every episode.
And he became the most popular character in maybe television history. So, you know, and there's one thing that I've always been bummed about that we never got. And we deserved it as Family Matters and Perfect Strangers fans.
Crossover.
Was an episode with Balky and Urkel getting into some trouble.
That would have been great.
Yeah, right?
That would have been great.
Right? Well, an episode where Larry and Balky go and visit Carl and Harriet, and Balky meets up with Steve Urkel, and they go on some sort of tangent, and then Carl and Larry have to go save them. You know, they get in the middle of something. Like it would have been an Emmy award-winning episode if they had done that. But
I would have loved that.
But alas, we didn't get that. It's never too late. They're still around, but I don't know. It wouldn't
be the same now.
Wouldn't be the same, but I'm bummed that we never got that.
Yeah.
Like, because that would have been a great episode of either show. The last thing I really want to hit on is, I think the storyline of the show, at least for the first few seasons, was brilliant. It's the fish out of water story. But Balky comes from, you know, the mythical land, because it's not real, the fake land of Meepos. But Meepos is so remote that in the first season, we even learned he didn't know what a pop-top can was, and was shocked by that. So he was so out of understanding the world that Larry had to show him every bit of it.
Yeah.
And so those first few seasons where he has to learn everything were just
great.
Perfect. No, it's beyond great. It's perfect. It was so funny. I do feel that Perfect Strangers kind of jumped the shark a little bit, as they say, jumped the shark, when it started to be just
jump the gun.
Huh?
Jump the gun.
No, that's to start too soon. Jump the shark is a television term meaning that a show has gotten so that they're stretching too far now. They're going too far with it. Jumping the shark, that is a reference, ironically, to an episode of Happy Days where the Fonz jet skis are jumps over a shark. And it was the dumbest episode, and a lot of people believe that was the episode where Happy Days died. Was because they were doing that was so stupid to do something like that. And so eventually Perfect Strangers, I felt, kind of did that, like in the episode where they're getting chased by mobsters in the sixth season.
In the sex season?
Sex season. And the sixth season they're getting chased by the mob, you know, and all this, and then it seemed like every time they got it stopped being about teaching Balky things and turned into them getting into wacky situations that were just inhuman. It would never happen to anybody else. And then Larry also became super greedy and just rude and just mean. But again, it worked for that show. It worked for the show. But you kind of took away that fish out of water element, and it was more about them kind of adapting in life. So it's a positive and a negative, because it's a positive because he, Balky had been in America long enough that he'd learned, everything, that he learned enough, and now he was just living his life. But it also kind of took away the charm of the show at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
But, this is not a slate against the show. I still love every season of it. But there was that point where it was like, okay, we get it now, But, it's still great.
All series have that episode.
It's fine.
It's fine.
But overall, no, Perfect Strangers was, without a doubt, one of the best shows that was ever on television, and I love every single minute of it. We have all the DVDs, and we check it out on Pluto TV. It runs 24/7 there. And so, and that's just more to the point of why I was so happy that we got to meet them last weekend, because they are just...
It was a quick hi, how are you, bye, but still...
Yeah. Well, we didn't stay around for this, because these cons are not cheap. No, but we just got the picture and we deuced out. But is it deuced out?
Peaced out.
So I just talking about pooping.
Well, you could say I deuced. I don't know if it's deuced out.
I do so when we got home.
Oh God.
Why are you the way that you are?
But no, yeah, we just stayed for the picture, but they did do a panel, and they did, you know, they were actually on the floor greeting people and signing autographs and stuff. So, you know, it's just great to see them still out and about doing the thing, and it was just such a thrill to get to shake their hands and take a quick photo with them.
I got a hug from Balky.
You got a hug from Balky.
I mean, not like full hug, but like one of.
Yeah, that's good enough right there. Yeah.
He touched me.
Nice.
But yeah, there you have it. That's our little love fest for Perfect Strangers. One of the best, one of the greatest shows in television history. Now we're so happy, we do the dance of joy. No?
No.
Oh, well, I got to do it with somebody. Who am I going? Aha! Die, 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 die. Hey, 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 hey.